celebrating World Health Day, and I am delighted to be joined by two goalkeeping stars of the game, Ayeisha Mcferran from Ireland and Rachael Lynch from Australia. Good morning to you, or good evening to Rachael, and good morning to Ayeisha.
Hey guys.
Morning.
Well, great to see you both. What we're talking about today is the social aspect of hockey, which is something that's relevant to everybody who plays hockey, from your club player through to your international Olympian. It's a sport where the social side is as important in many ways as the physical activity itself. So, Rachael, if I just come to you first, what age did you first join a club? And when you did join that club, how did that almost instantly impact your social life?
I joined at 12, so started playing hockey at 12, and my first involvement with the sport was at a state selection trial, and there was a guy there whose daughter was trialling, and he was pretty key in one of the clubs. So he went up to my mum, asked if I played for a club, which I didn't, and that community, it was pretty instant. I've been with that same club my whole career, despite being with different clubs whilst I was in Perth. I still remain with the same club almost 24 years later, and that support and the community, as I said, has been a real constant throughout my career, and it becomes a bit like your family, and has had a huge impact on me.
Yeah, I guess it's the sort of environment that no matter where you've been, no matter what you've been through at any particular time in, as you say, the rest of your career, you can walk in and instantly feel at home.
Yeah, that's it. And, you do that. They're the first ones to put the post up on Facebook. They're always, they have their eye on you. And I think being clubs, certainly in Australia, rarely do you have a national player. So if you have one, or we've had a couple through the club, you are put on a bit of a pedestal, and you sort of in reverse feel an obligation to, whenever I'm at home, I like to go and watch, even if I'm not playing, run clinics, do stuff like that, because that club has allowed you to achieve your dreams. So it's the first place you want to give back.
Brilliant. Ayeisha, I mean, you've been part of the club scene in both Ireland and the Netherlands. Both of those countries have got terrific club scenes. I think probably the Netherlands club scene is the envy of the world. What have been your experiences? You've been at Kampong now for 3 seasons, I believe. So what have been your experiences there in terms of the social aspect of the hockey?
I think you see in Holland, they kind of put the social aspect on the same level as playing. Every Sunday at the club, especially Super Sundays, it's insane. There's thousands of people there watching, staying after their games to watch kind of the men's and the women's. And then everyone just is always at the club hanging about, and you just feel like I've built my network that way. Like I'm just meeting people every week, like just chatting to them. So it's very much up there with the fact that you can honestly go to the club by yourself and you'll have the best day out. Like you go up, get a few snacks, wee pint in hand, and then off you go. Like it's a real like friends, but almost that kind of family environment. And I think for a club as big as Kampong is, it really does give you the opportunity to get really kind of stuck into what the club is about, and how they want to help the youth and everyone coming through. Because as Rachael said, it's the same sort of thing. If you have an international player, they really do help you whenever you come over, but also they want you to be involved in the club as much as possible. So the social side is huge here, as well as playing.
Brilliant. Can I ask you both to cast your minds back to when you were little kids? Because a lot of sporting children, when they go back to the school environment, it's very different. You go back, you've played your hockey all weekend, your mates might have been out partying, discoing, and you've had to miss that. How has the hockey club almost provided a different social environment for you as a youngster growing up? And this really is a message to the kids out there today who are sort of, thinking to themselves, can I throw myself into hockey? What sacrifices do I have to make socially? Come to you first on that, Rachael.
I mean, a club environment is really special in that way, because I don't know, maybe it's being a part of a team sport. You have these sort of instant friends, instant relationships. So it's just such a positive environment away from the rest of your life. I've certainly found, going back into that space, it's really grounding as well. So I figure that comes from, I certainly look at it, that's where I always went to just be me. And as much as they valued and appreciated what you were doing and international stuff, and we're very proud of you, you go back there and you're just one of them, which is, I find it a bit of a different environment from school and things. But when you have that social aspect to the club, it's not like you're missing out on like the school events, because you're getting to have them with hockey friends or in the hockey sort of environment. So I never felt that. I tried to have a bit of a balance between, you didn't want to miss everything with school, but you also got to experience it through hockey and through the club system anyway, having fun, events, socialising. So you kind of get the best of both worlds, I suppose.
Yeah, same to you, Ayeisha. I mean, did you find you had two different social lives when you were a school kid? The kid at school and the kid at the club. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yours.
No, sorry, Rachel. All yours. You take whatever you want, hon.
No. I was going to say they overlapped. I had school friends that played at my hockey club too. So, please, Ayeisha, fill me in.
Well, life in Ireland it was the same for me. Like I had friends that played hockey and friends that didn't. And my hometown was so small. So it was one of those ones where everyone knew everyone anyway. And if you didn't play sports, like we all kind of went to the same school. So if you didn't play sport, then you would see everyone at school, but then half the school played hockey. So there was always that overlap there. And yes, there's 100% times where, whenever you're younger, you feel like you're missing out on doing, like going to the school dance or things like that, or always showing up late to it. But for me, I found my release in my hockey. So it wasn't for me a sacrifice. It was more like, okay, I have my hockey first, then I'll come to that later. So then I did essentially get to experience both. So it wasn't like I was missing out. Sometimes you think, oh yeah, I really want to do that, but your team needs you. But you figure it out, and sometimes you have to take that hit and be like, you know what, there's always going to be a next time or whatever, and you just kind of you go with it. And like for me, once I was at the hockey game or whatever, the social life kind of went out of my head. I was like, okay, I'm at hockey, this is fun, let's go, I want to play. So it wasn't, there was always the mix in between, but once you were at the hockey, it was super chill, super fun, really nice.
Brilliant. Coming on to the pressures of being an elite athlete, how important are those social relationships within your team when you're going through either actually highs and lows? Because it's important that you deal with both of those emotions with a group of friends. So Rachel, how are the pressures of the change room, if you like, supported by having friends within the group?
I suppose hockey becomes, I assume Ayeisha would be the same, traveling, playing in Europe and being away from home. Hockey becomes like a workplace is for most people, where you spend more time with them, your colleagues, than you do with your family. So your hockey becomes your family. And we, my hockey mates will talk about this a lot, that you have these, in some ways, superficial friendships where it's sort of circumstantial. This is the national team at the time, and you become really close because you spend 24/7, you're on tour, you have a ball, all of these sorts of things. But guaranteed along the way, you're going to create these long-lasting friendships because of what you go through, because of your similar interests, and that's so special. And therefore, you get to know more about your hockey teammates than you do sometimes, your other mates, or sometimes even family members. The amount of having meals and chatting and the things that you go through, they see every part of you. So therefore, the relationships are crucial, and that's why they're so special, because you're there in the hard times, you're there in the good times. Like celebrating a tournament win or big games with a group, that's an experience you just don't have with other friends and family. And I think about it now, retiring, I watch videos of any sport where you see them celebrating a goal right at the end of a game or a big tournament. That feeling, it's really hard to recreate in normal life. So I think those relationships that come from sport are really, really important, but you just feel so fortunate to have them because it's unique. It's just so different. Your work friends, your uni friends, your school friends, you're just not going to have those experiences. And I think that's what builds these, beautiful relationships.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just sort of thinking back to some of the memories you must have. I mean, those girls who you celebrated the 2018 World Cup with, they're gonna be part of you for life, aren't they? Whether they're your best friends or not, they're still going to be part of you, who you are, and your experience.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that you can see even then that we were just there having a bit of crack. Like we were having the best time. Like before games we're singing and dancing, and then we had teams saying to us, "Me like, what are you doing? Like, take this serious." We're like, "No, come on, like we just want to have a bit of fun." But I think 100%, like the girls from that team, like I'm going to one of their weddings in a couple of weeks, I haven't spoke to, but for us, we don't have to speak to them all the time. We're just so connected from that previous moment together and creating that journey where, as Rachael said, like you know more, I know more about them than what I would with some of my family, because I'm half the time, like whenever I fly into Dublin, I'm staying in their houses, I'm having all my meals with them and their family. So you really build that kind of connection together through that journey. And it's something really special that you can never explain to anyone else. You can always talk about how excited it is and everyone is really excited for you, but because they can't experience that, that's where you rely on your teammates to really share those highs and lows. And that, you go from the highest highs to the lowest lows. And as a team, you're going through that together. And I think it's something special to have, because you just, you can always lean back on your teammates to figure it out and know that it's going to be okay whenever it's really shitty, or like pull you back down whenever it's going really, really well. So the teammates are really, really special to have that connection, but it's really important to kind of invest the time in them also, because you will have those circumstantial friendships where you're placing the team, good luck, work together. But if you really invest time in each other, it's something special can come from it.
And obviously, sorry, I was just going to say, there's a group of players who'll understand your fixation with Mariah Carey in a way nobody else will.
Honestly, to this day, her replying to that tweet, 10 out of 10, social media completed it.
Sorry, Rachael, I interrupted you. What were you going to say?
Well, I think it was 2018 when I became friends. I still remember that tournament and watching in awe, and I think we're in line waiting for toast or a bread roll or something when I spoke to you, and it was from afar, but our team watched on and was just like, this is awesome what these guys are doing. And we found ourselves watching the games, like cheering for them, because it's like they're doing something cool, they're doing something special, and you could see the connection within the team. And when you felt that in a team yourself, you recognize it, and it's not just a team playing well together, it's beyond that. We see that with the Dutch, they're just incredible players, but when you see a team that is just so united and playing for each other and enjoying each other's company and having fun, it's visible. And that's, I think certainly that's why I related to you, Ayeisha, and your girls, because I was like, shit, that's something I'd love to be a part of and have been a part of, but loved watching it too.
That's a lovely thing. There's beautiful words there, Rachel, and it sort of brings me on to the final point, which is the fact that for a lot of people watching, I think they assume that you guys don't talk. One team to another, you stride out on the pitch, you sing your national anthems. You acknowledge each other's presence, but there's no friendship there. But actually, friendships transcend national teams, don't they? Once the final whistle goes. So, Ayeisha, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but it's that in itself has to be quite a special community as well.
100%, because there's only, when you look at it, there's only a handful of people in the world who play top hockey at that elite level, and they understand what it takes to get there and the pressures to get there and the sacrifices and everything. And so of course there's the rivalries always in the pitch, but off the pitch, as soon as you step off, everyone's a normal human again, and everyone has their own journey and their own experiences, and it's really nice to connect and kind of share that together. We always say in the goalie world, everyone is so connected, like Lynch would know that more than some. But I think that that's also something really special, is that that if I go back to America, I can pop over and see some of the girls there. If I travel around Holland, Europe, wherever, I'm always if I'm in a country, I will always just pop up and say hi to people, because I'm like, we played against each other so many times, and it's again a shared experience that not many people can relate to.
Do you want to just sum up, Rachael, on that? I mean, international friendships, you've now retired from the game, but I'm guessing that you keep in contact, however it might be, through social media, whatever, with people from across the international community. How important is that?
I think it's really important. I probably didn't recognise it fully. There was always the hello in the goalie room and the different built across the international tournaments and stuff. But it probably wasn't until I went through some of my struggles pre-Olympics, and then also retiring, that I had goalies from around the world reach out to me and say, really nice things. I knew there were some that I was already friends with, but it's like when you hear that, like, for example, Maddie Hinch and I, we've always had a really strong rivalry and a healthy respect for each other. But then there's just been moments across time where I've reached out to her or she's reached out to me, and you just know that you have that sort of, like Ayeisha said, you have that sort of mutual understanding of what it takes and what you're going through. So really special. Again, another wonderful thing to come from hockey. If I went to Ireland, there is no way I wouldn't reach out, or Holland or wherever it was, where there's a goalie that I've played against. It's like, whether it's a coffee meal or staying together for some time, like that's pretty cool that we've all got that. And you got to make the most of it, I think.
Brilliant. So Ayeisha, expect Rachael to turn up on your doorstep anytime soon.
It's all right, I've got a spare bedroom now, so you're more than welcome.
There you go. Brilliant. Guys, you've actually, I mean, just through talking to you, I've actually found the hairs going up on the back of my neck when you talk about those relationships. But you're right, it is beautiful to see. And it is a side of hockey that we perhaps don't acknowledge and talk about enough. But it's the sort of the impact it has on people's health, the socializing and the friendships that you make through hockey. So thank you very, very much for being so honest and talking to me about that. And enjoy the rest of World Health Day.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.